Hey, welcome into the Husker247 Podcast. I'm Mike Schaefer, joined by Brian Christopherson, Michael Brunt here, just a couple days away from Nebraska's season opening game against Cincinnati. We've done this a couple times this year. We went through the schedule. We picked wins and losses. We're doing it one more time. Nebraska starts their season on Thursday. We need to have final records here, gentlemen. So, you know the drill. We're going to go through the games. You're going to give me, if Nebraska wins or loses, you'll keep track of your own record, and then we'll discuss where we went with it at the end of this podcast. All right, here we go. Thursday night, I believe I know everyone's prediction already because I can see into the future and have already heard future iterations of the hype casts. We just want to say 1-0 all the way around.
1-0. It's going to be a feel good Friday in the Nebraska businesses around the state.
Just go ahead and take Friday off.
Yeah.
When's the last feel good Friday around here?
Brunt's
their last Thursday win was their last Thursday win the Rice game post 9/11?
No. Well, K-State and then
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that one. They haven't played that many Thursday games.
I don't know. We're probably missing another one, but
Missouri 2009 was Thursday.
This is going to be a win though. This one, so they can start fresh from here.
All right, 1-0 for everybody. Akron.
That's a W.
Brunch, you thinking about it? Joe Moorhead got you thinking a little bit?
Yeah, Brunch isn't sure.
This is the most I've thought about Akron, and I'm not. I'm good. I think with a win there.
I can think. I'm sure you've thought more about Akron than you're letting on. All right, 2-0 for everybody. I get this team wrong every time, but I'm going to get it right this time. It's Houston Christian. That's who Nebraska's playing in Week 3. Believe that's is that an 11 a.m. kick? That should be an 11 a.m. kick. Let's say it's an 11 a.m. kick. Is Nebraska going to go 3-0?
I find it helps if you think of Sister Christian when you think of it.
This Night Ranger just blaring the entire time?
Yeah, I think that helps me remember what it is.
Yeah, that's just I really hope you're in the press box just screaming motor.
Yeah. The ESPN FPI, by the way, over a 99% chance that Nebraska wins that game. So
wow,
we're officially in dumb and dumber territory there.
All right, so 3-0 for everyone, and here's where it feels like this is going to get a little interesting.
Yep.
Michigan, September 20th, CBS comes to town. This feels like a big game. Bryce Underwood, 5-star quarterback, first career conference game. It's going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska. John Butler's boys have a chance to make his life a living hell. Sherhan Morris has to watch the game from his couch because he's a dirty cheater. What else we got here? Is that basically most of the subtext? Last time Michigan came to town was maybe the last time the Scott Frost era ever felt good. Nebraska had a chance to take that game against Jim Harbaugh on a late September night.
There was one in between that was pretty rough with J.J. McCarthy.
Well, no, the last time that that's right. I forgot about that. That was 2023.
He was making out with his girlfriend during the game on the sideline.
Like in the mid-third quarter.
7. That was Josh Fleek scoring for Nebraska?
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Running back snap.
Yeah.
Forgot. I have repressed that game from all memory. The NCAA didn't vacate that win, though, so Michigan still gets to have it. What are you saying here, BC?
This is one of those where I definitely think Nebraska can win it. And the fact that Underwood is going to be relatively inexperienced as a quarterback in that type of environment adds to that idea. But I'm sticking with a template here of what I think for a final record, and I'm going to say Michigan in a very close game. But this is where we learn about the Husker trenches a lot, like especially on that defensive line, like what they're made of. So I'm saying Michigan.
Michigan wins. Nebraska 3-1 for Brian Christopherson. What do you got, Brunt?
Yeah, I've got to get to a number. I think this is going to be a very close loss for Nebraska. I think it's going to be a good game. this is going to be a test for that front seven. So, but I think Michigan comes in and somehow finds a way to get it done, but just narrowly, like one score loss. This is going to be a 1-score loss.
I have Nebraska winning this game. I've been on Nebraska for a win here, regardless of what my record has been in the past. I like Nebraska's chances with a true freshman quarterback coming to Lincoln. I don't know what Nebraska's defense will be, but I think Nebraska's offense will make it difficult for Michigan to just be able to go full game manager mode, not let Bryce Underwood have to throw a little bit. I like Nebraska here. I think it's a great spot for the Huskers. I really do. It's an opportunity to get a big win on national television, and I think they do. 4-0 for me. 3-1 for BC. 3-1 for Michael Bruntz. And then the bottom falls out. I have Nebraska losing to Michigan State the subsequent week. You get the highs of the Nebraska experience with the win against Michigan, and then Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs and everything else. Something about that game, it feels like a little trappy, like you're coming off of that Michigan game, and I'll take the Spartans there. Nebraska 4-1 for me.
They do get a bye between Michigan State, but of course last year after the Ohio State game where they played well, there was a bye right before UCLA.
They had a bye before they lost to Michigan State, I think, in November.
So the bye maybe doesn't mean as much. I'll say a Husker win here. I understand where you're coming from, Schaefer. That's what this team's going to have to prove. Like if throughout this year, if they can get some solid wins, like can you be that group that's just week in, week out, doesn't slip that notch that's happened too much in the past? But I'll say a win.
This is a portion of the schedule that BC likes to refer to as the 4 M's because of who Nebraska plays here. And this is a very, very much a critical part of Nebraska's schedule if they're going to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Bruntz?
I got them beating Sparty. Michigan State turned the ball over a lot last year. I think that's going to be I think Nebraska is going to feel like they played well against Michigan. I think they're going to take some momentum into the bye week, and I think they're going to come out of it feeling okay about things. So I think they beat Michigan State at home.
Nebraska heads to College Park for the second time since both teams have been in the Big Ten. The last time Nebraska's there, what did they put up? 56 points, I think. It was.
Yeah, you got in that game, I think.
It was a drubbing. Yeah, I ran for 4 yards, more yards than people would have guessed.
You kicked a field goal. Everybody that was in the stadium that night got to kick a field goal.
It was what was that kicker's name? Harrison.
Well, there's Matt Waldock kicked one, and then there was
Harrison something, right?
Remember Nebraska kept doing the pooch style kickoffs, and Maryland couldn't field them. And also that game was so long ago. Ramir Johnson, that was like one of the early times we interviewed him, where he's just a young pup, like in the media tent afterwards. He was just beginning a 6-year career that we enjoyed watching.
That was a pre-COVID game. Like that's how I think of the last time Nebraska played at Maryland. All right, I have Nebraska winning here. I think this is the most points they put up in conference play all season.
I'm nervous about this game.
Mike Loxley got to you in Vegas? Talking about babies and snakes and cribs.
Martin. I was at the blackjack table with Mike Loxley, and he started talking about, we got this spot covered and that spot covered. I was like, oh boy. That did not happen.
Throw the snake in the crib, BC. Throw the snake in the crib.
I have a Husker win, but the 4 M's, as you say, this is right in the middle of it, and this is like the definition of can you go on the road for the first time for a true road game, and handle your business. I think it could be tricky, but I'll take the Huskers.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling. Nebraska then goes on a Friday night to the House of Horrors that has been the Gopher Hole up in Minnesota. The Huskers have not beaten the Gophers since, what are we going back to here? 2016? 2016, the last
2018,
one?
maybe.
2018. My memory is just terrible now. That was that the first win of the Scott Frost era? Does that sound right?
Yep, they lit them up. Scored in the 50s.
my brain is just skipping past a lot of things that occurred during that time period, which I think is probably okay. But Nebraska has not beaten Minnesota since 2018. They haven't won on the road in a while up there in Minneapolis. And they will not win on Friday night in Minneapolis. Nebraska loses. I have the Huskers at this point 5-2.
What do you have, Bruns?
I think Nebraska does not get it done there. It's going to be 21-17, 2014, like a one score, just kind of Minnesota special. So I do not think Nebraska wins that one. You didn't ask me about Maryland. I've got Nebraska beating Maryland. I think.
I'm sorry, Brooks.
That's fine.
I just assumed.
I think they split the two road games. So I think in coming off of a short week, having to go to Minnesota, I don't think that bodes well.
That's the best way to put it. I'll see. This is where you're doing a season prediction thing, and you want to hit a number, so you fall in the line. So we all have Minnesota like we're really on the Gophers wagon. I don't think that's the case. I think like when that game comes, it's very possible on our hype cast we could all be the other direction. But I will say,
never done that before.
I will say Gophers for the sake of my season prediction. The trick of this is, of course, and Rules talked about this, he pays close attention to the scheduling. They play at Maryland way out there on the Saturday, and then this is a Friday night game in Minnesota. So it is a very short week, and they have had issues there. If they go through Maryland and Minnesota 2-0, obviously they'll be sitting pretty, but that'll be really impressive if you were to just like, if you had a snapshot right now where you knew if they went 2-0 there, you would probably say, well, the rest of the season this is a good team, because that would show a real maturity if they can avoid splitting those two games to me.
Yeah. Just winning at Minnesota is a step going forward for this program in itself. So winning road games has been an issue, and getting both of those would be important. Another issue Nebraska has encountered in its recent past, Northwestern comes to town on, what's that, the 26th? Is that right? 27th? I have my schedule right in front of me.
October 25th.
25th.
Okay, well, one of those days. October 25th, Nebraska, Northwestern. I don't really know what to make of the Wildcats, but I know that Nebraska is winning this game.
Mark me down for a win as well.
I'll say win. 10 of 13 of the last 13 games have been one score with them. And I do think Northwestern is going to be sneaky tough this year. Yeah, I think they're going to be tougher than last year. And actually, like, they drubbed Maryland last year. I mean, they had moments where they're better than some of the teams we're talking about. So I think it could be a tough game, but I'll give Nebraska.
So I think that puts all of us at 6-2, which would be the first time Nebraska's won 6 games before the month of November in quite some time. And if nothing else, you sort of eliminate the antsy, oh no, are they going to have another November that results in missing out on a bowl game again? So there is that for the fan base. So we're all at 6-2. This is what, the blackout game? USC at home. Lincoln Riley comes to Memorial Stadium. I kind of want to do it, but also need to hit a number. So let's do it. Nebraska beats USC at home November 1st. The Michigan game, no longer their biggest win. They're 7-2. They're riding high. There's start to be the whispers of some college football playoff talk around Lincoln if they can go out to Penn State, which looms in 2 weeks, maybe 3. I forget if there's a bye week in there. Brunks, what do you got?
Yeah, I think this is. I don't have a lot of confidence in Maava to come into Lincoln and win a game like that. I always go back to what good friend Michael Severe said about how he just puts the ball in a lot of scary places, and I think that's going to not bode well for him. I think Nebraska wins that game, and it's interesting too when you kind of look at the way that USC's schedule breaks. A couple games before that, they go to Champaign, bye week, Michigan at home, followed by Notre Dame on the road, bye week, and then at Nebraska. So what's that team going to look like when they come to Lincoln? We'll see, but I think Nebraska gets that one done. I think that's going to be a good win for the Huskers. I think you're going to start getting a little bit of you're just the 1st of November, just a little bit of fringe playoff talk. So I think they get that one done. That game last year, man, should have had that one, but I think they get it done this year.
BT.
That game literally went through their fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game where like 4 passes should have been picked off that turned into huge USC plays. I think I'm picking USC for the sake of this exercise. I do believe that Nebraska is going to win one of the games between Michigan and USC, even though I didn't say it that way on here. But I'm going to pick USC, but it's going to be a night game, and probably going to be a night game. That's what Nebraska said. And the blackout thing, and I do think the Huskers have a good chance because I am still a little skeptical of Maeva like you guys.
Do you think that they're doing the blackout to make it more difficult for Maeva? You get all the black in the stadium, and he's just going to think that he's throwing to space, but really it's a defender. Is that what they're doing here?
Are you suggesting this is Balderman 2? Balderman Part 2?
Could be. It could certainly be. All right. UCLA, Nebraska going out to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I'm going UCLA here. I just don't think Nebraska follows up success with success yet. I think it could be a trickier game. And I just, I don't know. I'm not willing to say that they're able to go into to win a game like that, coming off of a win against USC that I think, again, similar to the Michigan thing, you ride the high and then crash and burn a little bit. I have UCLA winning that one, 7-3.
I've got to get to my number, and this game strikes me as having the potential to be a dumb game. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, just a stupid game where like breaks go the other team's way. It's on the road. According to my predictions, you're feeling good coming off of USC. Then you got to go to the West Coast, facing an okay quarterback. So I think Nebraska, for the sake of this exercise, loses this one because it's either got to be this one or Iowa to get to my number, and I think Nebraska gets it done against Iowa. So
you're just giving away your next couple picks right here in your UCLA.
I think we know where this is headed, but I've got to get this one in the loss column in order to get to my number.
I'll take Nebraska in this game. There'll be a ton of Husker fans. UCLA was actually, even though their record didn't show it early on, they were better than I thought they were going to be in year one of the Deshaun Foster era. Like if you look at some of the tougher teams they play, they're really competitive, and they looked
a chance
apart.
to get the bowl eligible.
They looked apart up close.
Yep.
I mean, they're kind of impressive up when you see them on the field.
They had a few dudes. They had a few dudes.
Do. And I know it's kind of was a controversy, but they switched out their OC with Bieniemy gone, and they brought in a kind of a stud, I think, to call plays there. So, but I will take Nebraska, and this is sort of like revenge for the USC game that got away last year that we talked about, where they go out west and they do make those plays to get over the top.
Okay. Nebraska heads to State College. They're going into the wilderness. Brunson, BC are flying into either Baltimore or Pittsburgh or Harrisburg or
Pittsburgh. You go into Pittsburgh. Always
You're
Pittsburgh.
going to Pittsburgh. They're getting their Franco Harris jerseys on. They're going to make the pilgrimage to the statue. They're going to have a nice bowl of spaghetti, and then they're driving over to State College on Saturday. I have Nebraska losing. No big surprise. I think Penn State's the best team in the country. I think there's some controversy late in this game. Nebraska will have the lead, and Penn State will get away with a controversial play that allows them to score late and win, dashing the hopes of Nebraska fans everywhere. Penn State wins.
Like a guy was actually like a yard out of bounds, but they give him the catch, like 1982, something like that.
More like a very obvious pick play that doesn't get called as pass interference because the Big Ten is no longer looking at it as closely this year. And then Bill Carollo won't answer the tough questions.
Yeah. I'll take Penn State. The one thing though about this college football season, and Penn State's the perfect example of it, is they're like a top 1, 2, or 3 team in most preseason predictions nationally, and the favorite to win the Big Ten. And I feel like we're in a year where that team is gettable for a team like Nebraska or others, and that's what makes this year so fascinating nationwide, I think.
Brunt?
Yeah, I think it's a tall task for Nebraska to go out there and get that one right now. Penn State's really good. I don't know that Nebraska's quite ready for that moment yet, but I think it's a competitive game. Like I don't see Nebraska this year having like an Indiana situation from a year ago. Like, so narrow loss. Is there something controversial that happens? I don't know. We'll see. But
You're saying it's going to scroll well because that's what
narrow
matters
loss,
when you
but-
go out to
yeah.
state college.
it'll scroll well, but not scroll well in like the Jack Stoll catching a touchdown pass late to make it a 20-point loss instead of
2017, the birth of Scrollwell.
yeah, that was the
Nope.
one.
That was an instant classic, 56-44.
Yeah.
You see that score, you're like, I'd like to see that one back.
It was just a tennis match back and forth. You would have never known.
Saquon Barkley had just like a ripped off a massive run at the beginning
On the
of that
second
game.
play, basically. Yeah.
All right. Nebraska comes home. I have them at 7-4. BC has them at 8-3, I believe.
7-4 right now.
7-4.
Yep.
And Brunt has them at 7-4. So we're all 7-4. It all comes down to Nebraska against Iowa, Black Friday. You've seen the movie. Does it have a different ending in 2025? I'd say yes. I'd say it's not even that close. Nebraska by double digits. Brunt?
You said they're going to win by double digits? Sorry,
Nebraska by double digits.
2017 Nebraska Penn State game. Reliving the magic. Saquon had 200 yards in that first half, by the way. 208, to be exact.
Spielman had a big day, though.
He did. He was good late. No, I think Nebraska gets it done against Iowa. I think this is the art. We're going to call it the Archie Wilson game. He's just going to be pinning Iowa deep. He's going to be bouncing balls off of Iowa blockers' helmets. He's going to be just backing it up like he's just hitting with a pitching wedge. And Nebraska exercises a lot of special teams demons and beats Iowa at home to get to 8-4.
Would he have like a Babe Ruth moment where he calls his shot before
Yep.
the play and he points at which player he's going to hit with the football?
Before the snap even happens, he points at like the up back or a guy, and he's like, "That's who it's going off of," and then just drills the guy right between the numbers. The guy doesn't even see it coming.
BC?
Kind of like a Happy learned how to putt game where he's going to like do that to the Iowa sideline with the Australian accent. I'll say a Husker win. We all track toward that meaty part of the curve, I think, to get to like 8-4. But that's the spot most Husker fans are picking, like 8-4, and then we'll work from there. That's what we say.
Can we have like I need a bonus prediction. Will Nebraska shake hands in every game before the season, or before each game this season? Will Nebraska shake hands in every game? Will that be a thing that we see this year?
Yes, they will.
Okay. And then secondly, I do want to talk about this. I know we don't have a bunch of time. I think 8-4, and I'm doing it, is such a cop-out because in my mind, the season goes two ways. It basically, this is either going to work and work really well, so like 9-3 or 10-2, or they're going to have a lot of the same struggles but have a little bit more talent and go 7-5. Like I almost think 8-4 is not going to happen, and it's going to be one of the other two. But I'm over here picking 8-4 because that's just what I'm doing.
Isn't 8-4 the upside of your second scenario there? Like things go well.
Yeah.
Like I think they get to 9 in the bowl game. I think I could very easily be talked into Nebraska going out to Los Angeles and kicking UCLA's ass. Like I would entertain.
Well, I have Nebraska beating Michigan and USC and losing to Michigan State and UCLA for the sake of getting to 8-4, but also trying to explain that there's upside. What I'm saying is I feel like we're doing a lot of mental gymnastics to sort of like show that there's a wide range of outcomes. but I'm almost closer to leaning to like better than this. And I don't want to just because they haven't given me a reason to think that in 10 years.
We've said on here a lot that when they break down the door, and this is what you're saying, they're going to bust down the frickin' door. Like it's going to be that year where it's like maybe you're 10-2 suddenly. You know, that's what happens when
it's Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Here's Johnny just like breaking through.
So, I mean, that's the beauty of this year. Like it can swing from 6 or 7 to like 10. I can see 10. It's not like if someone told me that that's their prediction, I wouldn't laugh at that. But like even this opener on Thursday is going to be really interesting to me. Like I think Nebraska is going to win, but you know, we've seen cases where we thought that, and they've got some young players in spots that really have to play well, and so we're going to learn a lot. And if we did this a week from now, maybe our predictions would be completely different based off Thursday even. So there's a lot to tell off of this first game, I think.
Oh, it's interesting too. It's interesting too. Like if they get through Michigan without a loss, like there's a pretty long runway there of potential. Like 10-2 is very much in the cards if you get through Michigan undefeated. So that's why it's a bit of a fascinating season because the schedule is a little bit more manageable. If you believe FPI, you've got 3 top 15 matchups in this season. But I mean it's certainly gettable. I mean 2 of those are at home, so that bodes well at least for your chances.
Bowl game. Where do you guys have Nebraska going with your 8-4?
They're due for Tampa, right?
8-4 with a win over in my scenario USC.
Yeah, is that the ReliaQuest Bowl?
That gets you to the ReliaQuest against an SEC team. I think Tampa's been wanting Nebraska for years, right?
Yeah,
Nebraska's never been able to hold up their end of it, so I think that gets you to Tampa probably.
Big Ten tie-in still is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a bowl like that, and I'll give them the win there. So I think like I actually like when you can bring the bowl game into it because 9-4 feels like very like that's my prediction. Like I like that.
9-4, the Bo Pelini special. That's what BC's saying.
It feels like you would have taken that the last decade, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's the sort of nut shot of being a Nebraska football fan.
Yep.
But that's what it is here. So that's why I think like I like doing this exercise, but I have Nebraska at 4-0, and then I still have to find a way to get them to lose 4 games because I can't put myself out there at 9-3 back-to-back years after they failed to do it last year. When I still feel like today on August 26, 2025, that was a 9-win team last year, and they just let too many games get away.
The biggest key is if you have players that are able to like not process that past at all. And I mean, that is what helps a little bit in this portal era where you get guys like Dane Key and new guys in here and whatever happened before, it's the old Tim Miles, don't put that crap on me sort of thing. So that's where you hope that this team just the culture and all that stuff that sometimes gets boring in the offseason, that it's actually real, like in the fourth quarter of those games, and it shows itself.
I know you guys got to hustle over to a upcoming press conference, but real quickly, I would like a prediction from both of you, your offensive MVP of 2025, your defensive MVP of 2025. You can split it up or you can just go back to back. Bruns, we'll start with you.
Dylan on offense and
like clearly Dylan.
Yeah, I think clearly Dylan. I think on defense, I will go with Watson Trent.
I'll say Dylan on defense, and I'll say I'll play the Deshaun McCall wild card that he just takes off and has an amazing season. So that'd be my pick. If you were to say Dylan's not allowed in this exercise, I would say I think Isaiah Hunter is gonna I honestly think he could be like the receiver to watch. Like, I don't know, good crew, but I think he steps up big.
If Dylan is out, and I should have done it that way because I was picked Dylan as well, I genuinely think if Nebraska is as good as they can be, the best version of them has Emmett Johnson as a weapon. And
Definitely.
I think Emmett Johnson is going to be – he was number one on my most indispensable because I think he has that kind of value with how Dana Holgerson used him. So I'll say Emmett Johnson there. And then I've been high on him quite a bit this offseason, Watson Trent. I'm with Brunts on that one. I think he's going to be steady. I'm excited. He's probably the guy I'm most excited to see of all the newcomers on Thursday against Cincinnati, because I think he's just going to be incredibly reliable, and you're just going to see him make tackle after tackle after tackle on Thursday night. So Watson Trent for me. Brunch, you got somebody to non-Dylan? Your non-Dylan MVP?
Ja'Cory Barney.
Dane Ja'Cory Barney.
I was going to say Dane Key. I'm like, oh, right. Ja'Cory Barney's still on the team. Ja'Cory Barney.
He never left. He's
still
screaming
here
at practice every day, according to Kyle Cunanan. Just screaming every single day.
I think they get him down the field a little bit this year. So I think you get the volume, and then you get the yardage too.
No, I like that pick a lot. I like that pick. I mean, Isaiah Hunter too. They have a lot of weapons. Nebraska has offensive weapons, and that's why we all think Dylan Raiola will be good. And we all think you should get to Husker247.com. Plenty of coverage leading up to this game against Cincinnati. Of course, we'll have plenty of coverage after. We'll have plenty to talk about, to discuss, to listen to watch, all of that and more at Husker247.com. I'm Mike Schaefer. For Brian Christopherson, Michael Brunts, we're Husker247. We'll catch you next time.